Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about the AEW deal with Amazon. So these past few months, ever since AEW has been part of Max, people have been asking, especially to me, if we are going to have the new pay-per-views on Max. And honestly, I don't work there, so I really couldn't tell you what the case was. And I have been trying to follow closely on what the situation was because I never actually heard or seen anything from AEW that confirmed what would happen with the new pay-per-views. Now, people have been confused because they're like, well, where is something on Max that shows that Revolution is coming up on Sunday? And I can understand people's confusion here because AEW has signed this deal with Max and they are actively adding pay-per-views, past pay-per-views onto Max. So it almost seemed like, well, if they're doing that, then maybe they're going to be now putting these pay-per-views from now on and streaming it directly on Max, but we have not had gotten that confirmation. Here we are today, a couple of days before Revolution, and we finally have this new hot off the press release here where AEW will be airing their pay-per-views on Amazon Prime. Now, this is for people in the US, Canada, and the UK. You can watch the pay-per-views on that platform. Now, just to let you guys know, they already have pay-per-views on payperview.com and also on thrillertv.com as well. You can watch those pay-per-views there. But that's always been the case for quite some time. But now we got this confirmation today. So what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. What that means is this is another streaming service where you're able to watch an AEW pay-per-view. Now, this is a win for AEW and a win for pro wrestling because pro wrestling is being able to be spread out into other platforms, and that will, probably bring some more people to want to watch because, hey, it's right in front of your face. However, this is still not a win for the fans itself because the pay-per-views are still at a regular price of $49.99, and the tax obviously is included, so about $45-46 in total. So this does not change anything in terms of for the fans. All this means is, hey, we have another place for you to watch the pay-per-views if you don't want to watch it on any of these other websites that we have available. Still a good thing for AEW, but in the long run for fans, it's just like, wow, this is really, really expensive. People were hoping that it would have been on Max and preferably with a discount. People are still asking. I've seen people ask this throughout today, even after they pretty much put this information out there. Are people who have Max subscriptions going to get discounts for watching the pay-per-views even elsewhere? Baby, that's not going to happen. So you're going to watch the pay-per-view on another site just because you have Max. That has nothing to do with that. You're still going to pay that $50 plus probably plus tax, because I know YouTube definitely they tax it and yeah, in other places too, but I don't know about Amazon. You still have to pay that price. That's that full price. And honestly, in today's world, where, not to compare to WWE, but, the pay-per-views are part of a streaming service, so you don't have to pay an extra fee for the pay-per-view. And I think this is what people were expecting or hoping for when AEW had this deal with Max. They were hoping that, hey, we're part of a streaming service. Maybe we'll get the pay-per-view for either for a discount or it's part of the Max subscription, and it's neither one of those. Now, for the entire AEW library, past library, you can go back and watch those, yes, but in terms of the upcoming pay-per-views, you still the same old. You have to pay that $50 and you'll be able to access the pay-per-view. I do think that is pretty expensive. When you watch other sports, you don't really see a hefty price tag on that. Sure, like maybe boxing and things like that, you might see that. But I do feel like with streaming platforms, things can be a little bit more progressive, and we can probably get at least the pay-per-views for a cheaper price. $30, $25, something like that, maybe would be more in the price range I think people would want to pay. I mean, this economy in the US, baby, we don't want to pay that much for no damn pay-per-view. Now, I would, encourage people that, hey, if you can, go ahead and support if that's something that you can do. But I know that this isn't something that everyone can do. And I think one of those reasons why people were excited about AEW being on Max was them thinking that, hey, this is going to change in terms of the pricing for the pay-per-views. And honestly, that didn't change. So with that being said, for people who are outside of the US, they typically spend less money on pay-per-views. What I have been doing for, I want to say, not a year itself, but close to, is I've been using a VPN. A VPN, you can actually use, you purchase a VPN and then you use it to change your location. So I would put, hey, I'm in the middle of Europe somewhere, and I end up watching the pay-per-views for a much cheaper price. So if I were to go on Triller TV and I put that I live in the UK, then that price automatically drops to $20. Now, they also have other deals where sometimes that I've honestly seen them do 3 pay-per-views where you can do the next 3 upcoming pay-per-views for $50. These are the type of deals that they get overseas. Meanwhile, in the US, the pricing is absolutely insane. Now, I would say that Triller TV, if you can't get a VPN, Triller TV is offering for Revolution and for Dynasty, those 2 pay-per-views together, you can get those 2 bundled together for $85. That's for Triller TV. I don't see this offer anywhere else at this time. So if that's something that you can do, you'll be able to save $15 by purchasing both of those pay-per-views at the same time. But either way, it's still a little bit expensive for a lot of people. I mean, I get it. They're trying to make money or whatnot, but when we think about the Max deal, I think that there've been some things that have been beneficial for the fans, but it's more beneficial for the company at this point. Certain things have changed in terms of AEW. Yes, we get a chance to have like one home for it in terms of the entire library, sure. But that doesn't include the upcoming shows. Now, I'm pretty sure that once those have finished aired and after some time, they'll end up taking those shows and putting it on Max at some point. Maybe, not 100% sure about that. I'm hoping. Also another thing too is picture-in-picture. People have complained about that, how we're paying for Max, and even those who don't have ads on Max, like myself, I don't get a chance to see anything in picture-in-picture. People actually like to see what's going on when it's commercial break. So we just pretty much get just a commercial break every single time, and there's nothing going on in between then, which is something that I think people who have Max do miss. We want to get all of the action. Unfortunately, they got bills to pay or whatever, so we can't just watch the shows without the commercials, and that's understandable. And even sometimes sometimes the show just ends up to seem to be ended abruptly or whatnot, and it's just like, hey, you're on a streaming service, can't this change? And honestly, I don't think that's really the case. I think a lot of people was expecting bigger things when it came to the Max deal, which I think is a big deal, but it's not necessarily a win-win when it comes to the fans. We still got to fork over the same amount of money as we did before. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I'll be back with all my regular scheduled live streams and reviews. See you guys then.